Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and I have some leftover chicken, so let's make a chicken pie for supper. Okay, so what you're going to need is a double chilled pie shell. I've got mine in advance. If you don't have a favorite pie dough recipe, then click here and use mine. You're going to need some dehydrated onions. I'm using dehydrated because I'm out of fresh. Dehydrated carrots, dehydrated celery, salt, pepper, and canned potatoes. Now, if you have leftover gravy, you don't need this, but I don't have any leftover gravy, so I'm using organic chicken broth. Let's get started. Okay, first off, we're going to shake our broth. If you have gravy, leftover gravy from your chicken, that's fine. I don't. So I'm going to put in about 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you were using fresh vegetables, you would need about 1/3 of this, but we're using some of this to rehydrate our vegetables. Why use water when you can add the nutrition? And when this comes up to a boil, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of carrots, dehydrated carrots, 1/3 of a cup of dehydrated celery, and a 1/4 cup of dehydrated onions. We call these the holy trinity of savory cooking. I just realized actually how much vegetable I have there. I'm going to add another cup, so I have 3 cups of chicken broth. Okay, this is coming up to simmering temperature, so I'm just going to drop these in here, and I'm just going to let these soak in that broth. So I'm going to turn this right down to minimum just to keep it hot. You don't need a lot of leftover chicken to make this recipe. This is a 1/4 of a leftover rotisserie chicken, and I have taken my potatoes out of the jar and drained them. I almost forgot that we do need garlic because store-bought chicken broth, especially organic, really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. So we want to add some. Plus that chicken broth was no salt added. Most of this is breast, so I'm just going to run my thumb down along the breastbone. Now you can go ahead and shred your chicken, or you can just dice it up. And don't be afraid if you get a little bit of that skin in there, because that is where they put all the seasoning for rotisserie chicken. This is a great thing to do if you have leftover roast beef, leftover roast pork, especially if your leftovers have gravy as well. See? That 1/4 chicken did quite a bit. Now we're just going to add a little bit of garlic powder, and I mean a little bit because I'm kind of doing this in layers. A little bit of pink Himalayan salt. Someone warned me today that pink Himalayan salt is full of radiation. Well, folks, I gotta tell you, pick your battles. What is it? All right, so now we're gonna take our little canned potatoes. And again, if you folks wanna use raw vegetables, then it's just gonna take a little longer to cook, that's all. But this is a leftover makeover meal, so I'm just using what I got in the pantry. Because, well, it's winter and that's how we live. We live out of the pantry and out of the freezer from what we've put up and froze. And there we go. Now let's go over and see how our vegetables are doing. Oh, well, now we just want a little bit more garlic powder. Remember, the onions are in with the dehydrated vegetables. A little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. All right, let's put this puppy together. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little dollop of butter, probably a teaspoon in there. Now I'm going to take just about a 1/4 cup of broth and about 2 tablespoons of potato starch. And then I'm just going to shake those up. I'm going to turn my burner up to medium. See how these are already rehydrating? I mean, heck, add some noodles and you've got yourself a bang-up chicken soup. But we're making pie. So now we're just going to add this in and stir until it thickens. I'm going to add a little bit more broth because that got thick really quick. Now let's go over to the table and put this pie together. Here's our vegetables that have been simmered in chicken broth and thickened with potato starch. And we are now just going to pour this all first. We're going to unroll our top cover And we're going to give it 3 vents. Why? 2 for steam and 1 because that's the way Mama taught you. Okay, now we're just going to put this on here and open it up and crimp. All right, this is going in to a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes or until it's heated all the way through. Okay, our timer for our chicken pie has gone off. Oh, would you look at that? Isn't that beautiful? Let's get Papa to the table. Okay, here is our leftover chicken pie made from leftovers. Oh, look at that lovely flaky crust.
Oh.
Easy.
Easy nothing.
Watch it, baby. It's really hot. Just came out of the
I
oven.
don't like my pie hot. I like it cold.
Well, you'll get
Cool.
cold in your lunch tomorrow.
Very tasty.
Here we go. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, just because you have leftover chicken doesn't have to go into sandwich. It can go into pies. Take care. God bless.